Imagine a young leader just 34 years old, daring to confront and expel the army of a superpower that once ruled his homeland for over a century. Could this be the turning point that shapes Africa's future? In 2023, Ibrahim Traoré, the passionate 34-year-old revolutionary of Burkina Faso, shocked the world by ordering the expulsion of French troops, a decision that ignited joy among the people, sparked fierce outrage, and triggered a wave of global power shifts. Get ready to step into a blazing journey where you'll uncover the explosive secrets behind why Traoré boldly declared enough to France. Watch now. The saga of Burkina Faso with France began in 1896, when the nation was absorbed into French West Africa, serving as a source of cotton gold and cheap labor until achieving independence in 1960. However, France's control didn't end. It persisted through tight economic ties and a prolonged military presence, most notably Operation Barkhane, launched in 2014 to combat jihadist groups rampaging across the Sahel. By 2022, when Traoré rose to power after overthrowing Paul-Henri Sandaogo, Damiba, the country had turned into a true battlefield. Jihadists controlled 40% of the territory, forcing over 2 million people to flee their homes, and approximately 400 French special forces were stationed at the Kamboinsin base near the capital Ouagadougou. Traoré, a former artillery captain from the town of Kaya, where he had first-hand experience fighting jihadists, inherited a nation where France's aid was perceived as a double-edged sword offering limited security while maintaining instability to retain dominance. The decision to expel French troops in February 2023 was far from a spontaneous act. Traoré openly accused France of refusing to provide the advanced weaponry Burkina Faso desperately needed, with a Burkinabe officer revealing in January 2023 that equipment requests were denied under the pretext of human rights concerns, a justification many citizens and soldiers believed was merely an excuse to keep Burkina vulnerable and dependent. Public sentiment erupted like wildfire on January 20, 2023. Thousands took to the streets of Ouagadougou, waving Russian flags and shouting "French army, get out!" with uncontainable fury. Traoré stood at a historic crossroads, forced to choose between continuing a conditional alliance with France or breaking free to pursue full independence. How could a young leader lacking diplomatic experience dare to challenge a former colonial master? Follow along to explore the dramatic risks behind this bold stance. Traoré's move to expel French troops wasn't just about security. It was a fierce rebellion against over a century of neo-colonial domination. On February 20th, 2023, the Burkinabe army held a solemn ceremony to certify the withdrawal of 400 French special forces from Kamboinsin, marking the official end of Operation Sabre in a moment of profound silence. But why did tensions between the two nations escalate so rapidly? France's presence, stemming from post-independence agreements in 1960, was significantly reinforced under Operation Barkhane, which deployed troops to combat jihadist groups like JNM and Ansarul Islam. Yet, by 2022, the situation deteriorated. Further attacks surged, with over 1,200 soldiers and civilians killed that year alone, according to ACLED, while French fighter jets frequently canceled missions at the last minute, leaving local forces frustrated and abandoned. Traoré's discontent wasn't a sudden sentiment. As a lieutenant in 2018, he served in the United Nations MINUSMA peacekeeping mission in Mali, where he witnessed French-led operations prioritizing the protection of their strategic bases over the genuine needs of local communities. Upon returning to Burkina Faso, he began to view French troops as part of the problem, with residents of Kaya blaming them for failing to prevent the devastating 2016 Nasumbu attack that claimed dozens of lives, leaving a deep scar on the community. His 2022 coup speech, subtly hinted at this lack of trust, and by January 2023, he demanded the replacement of the French ambassador, following harsh criticisms of the country's security situation. The military junta, under heavy pressure from nationalist factions, issued a 30-day ultimatum for France to withdraw, a move strongly supported by protests where Russian flags outnumbered Burkina Faso ones. But here's the twist. Was Traoré coerced by his own military? Or was this a brilliant move orchestrated by him alone? Don't miss the next revelation. The expulsion of French troops on February 20, 2023 became a global headline. But the aftermath unveiled Traoré's next audacious play. France swiftly recalled its ambassador with President Macron, labeling it ingratitude in a tone of bitter resentment, while Burkina Faso's Prime Minister Apollinaire Guillaume de Tambela held talks with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in December 2022, signaling the birth of a new alliance. This wasn't merely a rejection, it was a strategic pivot of monumental ambition. Traoré replaced French forces with Russian military advisors and Africa Corps, formerly Wagner troops, a move confirmed by an ex-post from a Russian diplomat in July 2025, hinting at troop deployments. By April 2025, he attended Russia's Victory Day parade in Moscow, solidifying their relationship with a $200 million deal for military hardware, including tanks and air defense systems. The impact was felt immediately. Burkina Faso, alongside Mali and Niger, established the Alliance of Sahel States (AES) in 2023, turning its back on ECOWAS and Western aid, marking a dramatic shift in foreign policy. Traoré nationalized gold mines, halting unrefined exports to Europe, and launched a gold refinery in 2024, retaining an astonishing $600 million in revenue by mid-2025, a significant leap for a nation once stripped bare. However, jihadist violence exploded with over 5,000 deaths recorded in 2025, according to UN data, pushing Traoré to deliver a leaked July 2025 speech, outlining a deeper Russia plan to end terrorism once and for all. A shocking twist emerged, a foiled coup attempt in April 2025, allegedly orchestrated by Ivory Coast with U.S. support saw AFRICOM Commander Michael Langley accuse Traoré of misusing gold during a May 2025 Senate hearing, sparking a heated international controversy. In summary, Traoré's expulsion of French troops was a resolute stand against neo-colonialism, igniting a Russian alliance and fostering AES unity. The economy grew by 3% in 2025 IMF, yet 2.5 million people remain displaced. This Russia agreement could be a beacon of liberation, but it also risks dragging Burkina Faso into a new Cold War with the West. Can Traoré's vision withstand the mounting internal and external pressures? Don't miss Day 5. Traoré and Russia, strategic partnership or controversial move. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.